Yankees demand is way bigger than Knicks. Yankees
the Dodgers as well.
Same. That's what I'm saying. Is that Yankees and Dodgers more than just
baseball though? I don't watch baseball.
But they're cultural.
Young kids.
Yankees are cultural.
The
Yankees are cultural
hits.
though, dude. The Knicks, come on.
Welcome, Brian.
Awesome. Welcome, Brian.
What's going on?
What's up? Sold Out episode 5. First one with Brian. So I guess, dude, we can just continue the conversation. We can start. I would like to start just like allowing you to introduce yourself, who you are to us, and
to class,
everything, man, and kind of how you got to this point. So, yeah.
All right. This is Mr. Brian, and fellow GFNF owner, KSR automation developer. It's been quite a journey to get here.
It's actually interesting. Where did you start? Like, how did you start just reselling in general? Like, to get to this point, because you were a developer.
Ask me that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Your story's cool.
So, I think it was. I don't know. There was a lot of factors that played in. I used to hang out with these guys in Houston. I used to be really good friends with them. I don't hang out with them that much anymore, but. They had a couple like Supreme pieces, like a couple Supreme duffel bags, and I had heard of Supreme. Supreme was really the beginning for me.
Yeah,
I'd heard of Supreme, and like I'd seen some of these bags, and I was like, oh, it's pretty cool. Like it's an iconic logo, you know. I thought it was legit, and I started really getting into Travis Scott around the same time because Astroworld had just come out, and I was really getting back into rap music too because like. When I used to listen to rap music, it was like Lil Wayne, Drake,
you know, like 2012 anthems.
Like DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, Jay-Z, you know, Kanye was in there. Travis Scott's kind of was like on the new wave a little bit, you know, like he was a new guy coming out. So that kind of got me, like I was listening to Astroworld because I lived in Houston too, and it was like really a Houston themed album. And so I started getting into rap music, listening to that album, and they did the festival, the Astroworld Festival. And so I went to that and just had a blast. And actually, before that, I went to Austin City Limits, ACL, which is like one of the biggest music festivals in the U.S. It's kind of up there. Like Coachella is obviously like probably one of the biggest. But I saw Travis Scott at ACL, and that was just like crazy performance. It was insane. And so then I went to Astroworld, the festival after that, and long story short, like he was doing some pop-ups in Houston at the time of the festival. And so like I was hoping just to get some merch, like some special Astroworld merch, like some special Travis merch. I didn't really know anything about shoes at this point. I didn't know that he did this Air Force collab, these Jordan 4s. Like at this point, he had done the blue Jordan 4s, and he had done 2 Air Forces. The first was just like the all white, and then the second was the canvas one, you know, like kind of the sail colorway.
Yep.
And so, anyways, I go to, this is actually kind of a funny story. I go to the pop-up, and the line was like pretty crazy long, but I get in there right before they're about to close. Literally, I got in there like 10 minutes before they were going to close the pop-up, and they didn't have a lot of merch left, but they had a ton of shoes, a ton of these Jordans and Air Forces. And
dang,
this is funny, but one of the employees.
This is after a full day of them being open. They still had all these shoes.
They still had a ton. Yeah, it was low key. It was not a lot of people were really into it at that point. You know, it was weird.
That's nuts.
Nowadays, if you were to do something like nowadays, I think he just does raffles. At this point, because it's like, you know, people are going to get shot for the shoes.
They'd be lined up down the block. Yeah,
it's crazy. And so I get in there, and this employee, it's kind of shady, but it was hilarious. And this is really what kicked it off. This employee comes up to me, and she's like, "Okay, what do you want?" And I was like, honestly, I'll take anything I can get my hands on. And like they had an Astroworld rug. I don't know if you've seen that rug that I have. Like, it's a really sick rug. It's like the Wish You Were Here Earth on it. I got one of those. I got a bunch of T-shirts and stuff. And then she was like, what do you want for shoes? And I was like, as many as I can get.
Those blue ones.
Dude.
And so she's like, okay. She's like, I can give you 2 pairs of the Jordan 4s, and I can give you a pair of the Air Forces.
Damn. Okay.
But wait. And so she's like, she said, all right, let me go get them. So she goes in the back and she gets the shoes. And it was kind of cool. Like in the back room, they had like this just wall of shoes, wall of shoe boxes of the Jordan 4s and the Air Forces. And then they just had this massive cactus in the fucking room.
Okay.
It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
You walked
so
in through the
cool.
back and then
Damn.
you looked and you saw all the shoes.
Dude, that's
and then the
fucking
cat,
sick.
like, yeah, this is what got me into it. But here's the funny part. So it took me a second to figure out what was going on. But so she's at the register and she's like, she just said this to me really quick. She's like, okay, I'm just going to charge you for the rug. And here's my Cash App, and you just pay me for the shoes. And I'm like,
Okay.
you
She's
know,
working, man.
I'm like,
damn. Okay.
And so like after like 10 seconds, it clicks, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
This is at an Astroworld festival.
This is in the space. It's called Space now, but it's his store.
No way.
This was the Travis Scott Astroworld pop up. And so, long story short, I literally walked out of there. I think I just paid for the rug, and then I got 2 pairs of the Jordan 4s and a pair of the Air Forces for free. And
Did you Cash App her?
I'm not gonna lie. I did not Cash App her. I did not
Okay.
Cash App her.
Hey, you were working too.
I didn't even know who she was.
Right.
Like, I'm like,
Well, she's doing shady business.
didn't
So
know
what
she
she
was.
expect? I mean, she can't hold you to a standard. She's doing shit. You were ready to pay over the
I
counter.
still have her Cash App. Maybe now that
You're
we're
gonna
saying
pay her
this,
now?
do
maybe I'll
not
do it.
have-
No, I still have it. I think it's written down somewhere.
No way. That's impressive.
So
if
she's watching this,
get a hold of us,
maybe-
Brian's
yeah,
ready.
maybe
Brian's
I'll hook
ready
you
to
up.
pay it forward at this point.
So anyway, so I get home and I
That's
still
awesome,
didn't even
dude.
know what
That
the
is
heck.
such a good story.
Yeah, I still didn't even know what these were. So then I find out about StockX and
Yeah.
like I look at these Jordan 4s and I'm like, holy shit, these are. And they were
Yeah.
only selling for like $300-$400.
Did you get your size?
I did. Yeah, I got. It was all big sizes. Like they had a lot of shoes left when I got there, but they weren't very good sizes. And
Yeah.
everyone was there for the sale Air Forces, I think,
Okay.
because that was the newest one that came out. The
Sure.
Jordan 4s had been out for like 6 or 7 months at this point. And God, I wish I would have known that they were going to go to like 1,000 because I sold them at like 300 or 400.
Yeah.
But I got them for free. So yeah, I still have a picture of it too. It was cool.
That's funny.
But so I resold those, and then I was like, okay, like this, there's some potential here if I can get shoes for free.
Yeah. Right. This seems I could make some money in this.
So then I started looking at, and I won't talk about this that much, but then I started looking into Supreme at the same time. Remember, I was kind of talking about Supreme.
Yep.
And this was the season where I don't know how to best describe it other than like there was always some new random Supreme bot hitting every week.
Yeah.
And if you remember Hasty,
Yep.
Hasty was like it this season.
I do remember.
And Brisk was
Oh
there as
my
well.
God.
It was
Yeah.
like Hasty.
I
It was like
remember Brisk,
Hasty
dude.
one week, then it's
Yeah.
Brisk the next week. Then it's like there was like just all these
I
random
remember
bots
that,
coming
dude.
up.
And even
you
like
know?
Eve would just like completely smoke one week, and the
Cyber
NSB
was,
Cyber, yep.
was still there. NSB wasn't really a thing yet at that point. I don't think they didn't have
Really?
Supreme.
Okay. Oh, there wasn't
It was
a
like
Supreme
it was like
module.
Cyber Mech wasn't a thing. It
Yep.
was like Cyber, Hasty, Brisk, Eve, PD,
Yeah.
Supreme.
I was running PD,
Supreme
yeah.
Okay.
was still in there.
Yeah.
Supreme.
Supreme. Dude.
Yeah, that's
You mean the
we
keyword
should
guy.
talk
We can
about
talk
that.
about
Yeah,
that.
we
Yeah.
can. Yeah.
But so I remember like I rented a few Supreme bots, and like I remember like for the box logo drop, I like took the day off work.
Yeah.
And like I was like I was going all in on this, and like I didn't know what I was doing. I don't even think maybe I copped like 1 or 2 pieces from that season.
Yeah.
But I was learning a
Yep.
lot. And at the same time, it was funny too, because I was a developer, so I was actually like developing a Supreme bot using Python Selenium, which is like it's like a browser framework. It was gonna be like a browser based thing. I didn't know what I was doing.
Sure.
I was just like thinking like, how hard can this be? Like I'm a developer. I know how to do some of this stuff.
Yeah.
So that's when I kind of started dabbling in development too. But then I started seeing stuff like Hasty and these in Cyber and these
Yep.
like
Definitely.
spots, and I was like, well, for the time being, it's probably good to just use stuff that's like well established.
Definitely.
So
And you became like a highly efficient. That's always something that has struck me, is like you are a really efficient operator with a lot of these different softwares. From my perspective, like your nickname has been Brian's nickname is Mr. Manier,
Manier,
Mr. Manier for the Ama Manier Air Force Ones that dropped like what, year and a half ago at this point, stuff like that, and you just like smoked it. I mean, dude, I've seen you hit insane clips like Supreme, Footsights, Shopify, all of the above. Like Nike, you bought the fuck out of the Nike
I used to be a
Sakai's.
king with
You were
BNB, man.
Nike botting king. All
Yeah, I used
all
to be really good with that.
highly efficient user, even with your own software solutions. Turned and now obviously development has really taken over, like kind of where you are, and your presence in the industry and like the impact that you make on for so many people. It's crazy. It's pretty cool just that you dabbled in a little bit of development, like maybe a little Supreme application.
Yeah.
And then you got away from it. What was the first development project that you would say like got you back into where you are? Like KSR obviously is where we are today. What started you down that path? It was raffles, right?
It was raffle botting, yeah. Because I kind of looked at it. It was, I don't know if you remember, but like I want to say it was like earlier this. It was like the beginning of this year / like end of last year. Raffles were really becoming a thing. A lot of raffle bots were coming out, and I kind of saw that as like the next frontier. I was like, all these, because when I got into the game, like all these Shopify sites were releasing first come first serve. All of them.
Yeah.
Like Bodega, Feature, Dark Side, all of these stores were first come first serve.
Yes.
And it was like,
And
how
now-
fast were your proxies?
Yeah, basically.
That was
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's like,
you needed
Spin
like
up
what
some
server
Amazon
do you
proxies.
have?
AWS proxies. Yeah.
Yep.
You know, you're pinging like 10 milliseconds.
and
Right.
if you had a dedicated server, $2 an hour, it's like that could mean the difference.
I don't.
Well, not for you. You never said a
Oh
chance. But
yeah,
anyways-
not for me.
But anyways,
That's right.
yeah. And so, but all these sites now are raffles.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. Like if it's a really hyped shoe,
Like those random
you're looking at
feature
Kith, and that's about it. You know?
extra butter.
Exhibition.
Yeah, you've got
Yeah.
you've got your constants like Kith DSMs, but yeah, all those ones, all these websites, dude, those are like the glory days of this
They
shit.
used to be first.
All
come,
of
first
them were
serve.
first come first
No
serve, bro.
bot protection, no proxy protection.
Nothing. It was like off-white Nike drop day, bro. There, you were good for like 25. Even the Travis Scott ones. You remember how many websites were dropping first come first serve, back in like the original release of the Travis Scott ones, dude.
There wasn't that many, to be honest.
Dude,
there
it-
was more than
More than
would
there
be
are-
now.
yeah,
but
yep.
there wasn't that many, to be honest.
that
I was
actually-
pissed about that release, but yeah,
Yeah. Still
You're right.
directionally, now thankfully a lot of the big drops, quote unquote, are first come first serve, and they're maintaining that, kind of finding how to execute and whatnot. But yeah, definitely. So what raffle in particular was like the first one you tried automating?
it was there was a lot. The ones that I really focused on were like Naked, because I saw a lot of people hitting Naked.
Oh,
So Naked
I've
was
seen
a
the
big
naked
one.
accounts, right?
Naked,
OBD.
BSTN, because that was another big one at the time, and then One Block Down, because One Block Down,
Yeah.
excuse me, was a joke. They didn't
Wasn't
filter.
it Google form or something?
Just a Google form. All you needed was like a caption. That was it.
Yeah.
And honestly, though, after like putting in a little bit of work into building raffles and stuff, I just realized it was a complete waste of time for the success that you're hitting. The very first success we had with KSR was like me and Clockism. Shout out Spencer.
Yep.
Been with us since day one. Me and him hit like, I don't know, 20 pairs of those Travis Jordan 6s.
Yeah.
Okay,
One block
yeah.
down.
All them ones.
And I remember he called me and I was at work and he was like, check your email. And I was like, what? And I go to like my catch-all email and there's like 20 emails from One Block Down. Like
Wins?
Yeah, wins.
Damn.
And those were
Damn.
really hard to touch. I don't know if you
yeah.
remember, but like
Well, prices were high. They were like selling for $1,000 right
they
after
were
the drop.
Really, everyone took an L on sneakers.
Yep.
Like it was really difficult. They did a draw on sneakers, I think.
Yep.
And so I was like, this is crazy. But that was pretty much it. And then after that, One Block Down kind of started filtering and stuff. And I was just like, this isn't going to work, So yeah, it started with raffles, but then at that point it was good because I already had kind of an interface built. So then I started looking into first come first serve sites, and I think Nordstrom was the first one.
Yeah, and then a few small skate shops. I remember CCS,
We
Skate
had
Park
at
of Tampa.
CCS. Yep.
All of these shops.
CCS is
And
done.
let the
Yeah.
record show. We were talking about this the other day. Every site that we have just smoked out and KSR has just fucking destroyed. It happens like once or twice, and then they just raffle shoes. It's just like all of these skate shops and stuff like that.
Yes, dude.
You see, a lot of our people and a lot of KSR users, you'll have like the 20, 40, 60 clips on like a crazy dunk, and then it's just raffles.
It's done.
Yep. But yeah, those were some of the modules that started, and then obviously the big heavy hitting websites with the card boom and tech.
Tops was a big one that we added first. As
Tops was big over the summer.
Those Bowman releases really put us on the map success wise.
Yeah. Target, we got into Target so early. Do you remember there's no accounts required? Proxy didn't matter. We were running like a 25 delay, like literally 25.
Yeah, you could run a delay.
Milliseconds.
They weren't blocking anything. There was no form of protection at all.
Yep. But there's also the margins just weren't what they were on sports cards today. Like they were easier to touch because they weren't selling. They
weren't very mainstream with the botters now too.
Yeah.
I mean, now there's a lot of Target bots out there that have sprang
competition.
up.
Is crazy.
It's just
That's why I personally always stayed away from like Shopify, was because I was like,
super oversaturated.
I'm not trying to I don't want my first module to be something that competes with like 10 other like top tier bots that have had Shopify modules for years.
Like why introduce yourself to the market as a direct competitor with Cyber and Balco? Yeah, exactly. So
we might get there one day. I don't know, but
like initially, it's almost like what stopped you from continuing to pursue your initial Supreme venture was like, well, wait a second, Cyber and Eve and these bots are like slapping every week. So why would I try to compete with that with my current which makes sense. And then state of the market, man, it's constantly changing and adapting. I mean, we just saw like the first profit or like really highly profitable Yeezy 350 in quite a while with the Breds 350 restock, which was exciting. Dude, making like 10 grand from a Yeezy 350 in 2020 is exciting, and it's a nice opportunity. But at the same time, it really takes a special colorway and special amount of hype to commandeer that. Yeah,
I hope they do like the belugas or something,
dude.
Like another,
yes. Oh, bro, and the blue tints. I mean, let's be honest, bro. I think that they're, man. Who knows? Would they do the
2021, dude? Yeezy's back with.
They're not. I mean, and they're notorious for doing these
just
restocks too.
Restocking,
but they don't do
the zebras and
but they don't do like this much stock. Like
it was.
They
crazy.
put it on Footsight and all that.
Unprecedented. It was unprecedented.
They don't typically.
I know
do
such
that.
an OG pair too. That like the resale was so high, like $900.
It was probably the best V2.
Yeah,
I think to be
it's
honest,
like
V2.
It's like he said everyone's gonna get a Yeezy, and he's giving everyone the
Bro,
recent
it was a
Yeezys.
long. It's
now
a very,
they're getting the OG Yeezy.
Well, you can see there was a long term. I mean, dude, there was a long term business plan. Kanye from the beginning. I mean, these guys are billionaire geniuses, bro. From the beginning, he said everyone's gonna have Yeezys. Don't worry, just wait. He's said that 4 years ago, 3 years ago, when people were like literally fighting each other in parking lots over Yeezys. Like zebras, Breds, like the OGs. He reassured, no, everyone will get their Yeezys. Just wait, and people are getting their Yeezys, man. So to make that type of money, like it was a great release for resellers. There was just so much. I feel like there was stock everywhere, man.
It was like Yeezy Day for 2020.
I got screwed out of a lot of people did get screwed in like multiple ways that we can discuss, but I got screwed out of thankfully just one pair. It's not like it happened to like every pair.
He ran the wrong PID.
I did not run the wrong PID.
Yeah.
This is not a PID that's available on Yeezy Supply, let the record show. But I got like a pair of like Adidas Gel Light 3 runners or some trash. It's like actually a $25
something
pair.
You find at Kohl's.
Yeah, something you find at Kohl's or something that like, if you're getting like a job like bussing tables, they're just like, hey, get these. They're like kind of non-slip. Like just like complete trash.
Kind of non-slip.
I don't know. There's just like a sneaker, random shit. And dude, I don't know. I have not started the return process, but I got those instead of a pair of Breds 350s from like their East Coast fulfillment center. A lot of people were getting shafted by FedEx. People were getting screwed out of their Yeezy supply packages in particular because they were shipped via FedEx.
Which happened to me about 2 years ago.
Okay, has that happened to you
I've
at all?
told you that.
It's hard to say. I mean, look, I've been screwed by the postal services many times with shoes, whether it's them not getting delivered, whether it's someone stealing them off my doorstep, whether it's them not putting them where they're supposed to be, etc. I think FedEx is, well, USPS is the worst for sure. I think we can all agree on that.
Dude.
USPS is absolutely terrible, but FedEx, look, I only ship stuff UPS.
Same.
Me too.
Only
Me
do
too.
UPS now. I don't care.
For a long time.
UPS is the best.
Yep.
Hands down, their
agree.
tracking is the best. And FedEx is just...
The thing that happened with FedEx when mine got shipped back, I had like 35 coming that day.
This
and
was the first I've ever
18
heard of, for the
was like
record.
a
No, I've told you this.
No. This happening to you, like you were the
That
first person
happened
I've
to other
heard.
people that time too.
Yeah, but you're the first one that I'd ever heard it happening to. That's what I'm saying with the FedEx. But go ahead. What happened exactly?
I went down to the hub where they were. I saw them on the cart, and they said that like our area had an issue with fraud, so they were like monitoring this area. This is what they told me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's true because we saw certain members in certain areas having this problem on this release, but they wouldn't even give me the 18 that were in my first, last name, address, like on my Chase Sapphire.
They had all of your correct
They had it. They
information?
wouldn't even give it to me.
It's funny. It's funny how they call it fraud too. I love how
they can
it's like
hide
I love
behind.
how they
for.
throw that word around like it's illegal.
But listen to
I
what
know.
they did. They had a cop, who they say a cop, call me on the phone and ask me
About Yeezys?
about this whole thing, like what I was doing.
What?
After I left, they called me, a police detective called me,
Okay.
asking me questions.
Which Yeezy was this was the 500s?
No, it was a
The bone-
350. The linens, maybe
No.
no, it was not the linens. It
something
was
white, like
I know what you're talking about. It
not
was
static,
the
not,
cloud white.
nope, before that.
before that. I know which Landmarks. It was
been-
Landmarks
could've
maybe.
been
It was
Landmarks.
around that time.
That sounds.
It was a
sounds like
profitable
that, yeah.
350. I would have made $50 a pair.
Yeah. So it was, very
but yeah,
one of those.
It was
yeah.
a decent Yeezy, and I was just pissed, and they would not give them to me. And it was something
and this happened
with
to
the area.
And because of the amount that like people hit absolute clips on these Bred 350s, like Splash Force users in
Hundreds.
particular, hundreds, literally hundreds. So what was happening was people were getting a full UP or FedEx truck rather filled with these things, and then all jigged info, jig name, and then a driver. It's like driver or area manager, anyone's discretion on a local level. They're just saying, fraud. Return to sender, and then that's 20 grand, 30 grand profit gone.
So I can't claim to be an expert on this, but from what I know, like if something is shipped like U.S. mail, that's much different than like a parcel or a package coming from FedEx, because like U.S. mail, there's a ton of laws like surrounding it. Like if you try to get a U.S. mailbox at a UPS store, like you have to sign paperwork and stuff to get that. If you just want to have packages delivered there, it's nothing. You just pay them and you can have packages delivered there and stuff.
Yep.
So it's funny to me that they're putting like all this fraud stuff on these packages, and it's like, okay, first of all, this isn't even USPS.
Right.
Second of all, this isn't US mail. This is totally different. Like,
yeah, it's a joke.
It's just
and
ridiculous.
And there's no
It's
fraud. I
ridiculous.
mean, everything's paid for.
Everything's paid for.
These are purchase items. It's not fraudulent. They're being shipped to real physical addresses. It's not like they're, being damaged and then returned for claims. Like nothing, like no actual fraudulent activity.
What sort of
it's just
fraud could be happening?
It's literally just
I
jig,
called
name, and
I called
address.
a lawyer, and he said it all depends on
Bullshit, dude.
who, when you buy it from the site, who owns the package. Do you as the buyer own it, or does the person they're shipping it through own it until it's delivered?
Right.
But
Yeah, it's
a
crazy.
crazy little
Bro, there's a
another
lot
issue.
of fucking everything's been chaotic with shipping. Like because USPS, there's didn't you say you had a picture, Vince, of like a
dude in our group,
USPS?
he like was showing me a picture of like the back area where they have stacks of mail that they're just piling up because they can't get it out.
They can't do it. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And
like,
we told
the
people like
USPS
don't
is
use
a
it.
terrible organization, and you talk to anyone
Dude.
at like any like UPS. I mean, and yeah, they're biased, of course, but like it's a terrible organization. Like the tracking, non-existent. It's terrible. They're just so poorly run.
Yep.
I've
They've
never
been
had a
backed
good
up.
experience with them ever.
At the start of the whole Corona thing, I shipped a couple USPS, or maybe they were coming to me, and the tracking never updated until it got there. Like I sold a $40 item, so I didn't care. But people were saying like, "Hey, I shipped stuff. I refunded the person, and then it showed up like 2 weeks later."
Yeah. Right. It's
So,
wild.
yeah.
It was just like,
Dude, they've been backed up for so long. You guys remember like they lost, like literally lost track of 30 something pools of mine back in June all at once. Like, how the fuck does that happen, dude?
I remember that. Yeah.
Yes, I had like a trailer full of pools,
yes.
and I was, and they were like, yeah, we don't know where any of them are. I'm like, dude, it was a trailer of pools that you
like,
scanned and
yeah.
like.
It was just 2 though, wasn't it?
What do you mean?
Just a couple pools.
It was like 30.
No, it was a lot.
It was a lot.
I'm kidding.
Oh,
This guy, the sense of humor, bro. On
that wasn't even
on
a good joke.
I'm
level
saying he doesn't
10.
hit pools,
That wasn't even a good joke,
Dude,
though.
on level 10, sense of humor. Love it.
This guy just didn't catch on.
I think, didn't UPS stop shipping Nike directly from Nike? I saw like an article about that. Like UPS formally like cut off a few big retailers that were shipping just insane volume that were like bogging them down. And I want to say Nike was one of them. So I think that forced Nike to like use a few other.
While we're talking about this, let's talk about this, okay? Why is it that Nike, when they ship something, it's like has their logo, their branding, their SKU slapped all over the box, and same with Adidas? Like, what kind of logic is that?
It's because their brand continuity and brand recognition is more important than you getting your shoes. Like they know doorstep bandits are a thing. They know people like these like people that'll just steal stuff from your porch. Like they know that exists, but they love that check mark floating around. I mean, it's just branding, dude. Unfortunately,
or PlayStation Bundle.
I
got those,
dude. That I don't.
Like, and it says like PS5 directly on the side of the box.
Crazy, dude.
This is becoming a really serious thing now, especially with COVID. But like
very
since Amazon started really picking up and like people were getting, I mean, if you look back like 10 years ago, like the number of items being delivered, like the delivery business, I guess, like it's exploded. And as a result, commensurably, like there's package thieves, right?
Yes.
Like what do you call them?
Like just like porch pirates. There's like all types of And I would say like people ordering high dollar stuff has become more commonplace. Because
exactly.
5-10 years ago, it's like, I'm going to go buy that in person.
Yeah.
I'm going to go look at it, get it, bring it home. But now it's like, $5,000, computer or whatever, $1,000 PlayStation, just going to order it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's very commonplace. So. Dude, it sucks. It does suck that that's a reality that
I wish
they
would change that.
Yeah, retailers
Adidas and Nike specifically.
Right. Yeah, they should. They certainly should. And when it says like PlayStation 5 bundle and you get like that's just like not safe.
It's terrible. I know.
When you get like dude, imagine someone seeing like 20 PlayStations delivered and like offloaded into like some kid's little fucking garage or storage unit. Like that's just goddamn dangerous. Like what the fuck, man? Can't we just do better, It
hasn't happened to me in a minute, but like when I like started reselling, probably like the first 6 months, like I had, and people that know me like know that I've told them all these stories. Like I had a lot of stuff get stolen off my porch, so bad that I was like almost about to call it quits because I was like,
really?
Well, yeah, because I mean, like there was one time I had like 7 or 8 pairs of Air Maxes just vanish.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's like it was like $1,000 or something just down the tubes,
right.
And I'm like. And I wasn't moving that much at the time, so I was like, "Wow, there goes like 2 months profit."
Right.
And it was really bad.
Yeah.
And I lost my train of thought, but
it takes a while to get that money back. Like even if you do get a claim through the retailer or through UPS or whatever, like
it's terrible.
Yeah,
it's at the point now where honestly, if I lose a package, I move so much stuff so frequently that I don't even try to get it back.
Well, it's
honestly,
unless it's worth a lot of money. Well, yeah.
I don't keep track of some stuff.
If you're ordering like some of these guys that got 200-300 pairs of Breds, I guarantee they're losing like 10 pairs, and they don't even know it.
Yeah, if they are losing, 2, 3, 5, even 10 pairs, maybe like obviously this is where now the argument would be Scout and free plug for them, but they don't need it. They're huge. They're transcendent. That is where software solutions like that come into place because moving that type of volume. It's highly inefficient, if not impossible, to keep track of every individual. But Scout, especially with their new email scraping, have you seen this?
Oh, I gotta look into this.
Dude, it's crazy. Yeah, they scrape all order confirms and order cancels.
Get the tracking numbers and everything.
All of it, bro.
I wish I had it earlier because I have catch up to do, like in terms of like getting some old stuff in there.
Yeah,
but like. Yeah, it's awesome.
It's good. So that is the answer to that because without it, you're right. Losing track is inevitable.
And I suggest everyone, like befriend your UPS guy. I tip my UPS guy.
Me too.
I tip my FedEx guys just because I want them to know, like, hey, I'm taking this very seriously. Like, My UPS guy, I had a really solid UPS driver, but they rotated the route, so he's no longer my guy. But he used to tell me that there'd be people that would follow him. There would literally be like cars that would follow him, and they'd see that he's like dropping off a TV or something, and they would just wait for him to leave, and then they would just go nab it.
That's crazy. And
it's like,
what does he do about that?
Yeah, what is he gonna do all day long? Like check him? Like
right.
It's just ridiculous. It's like an epidemic right now. So
speaking of, you know, the scout thing made me think of because I talked about how like those dudes basically like transcended, like they're just like larger than life. Another like this was big news, industry news, as far as like a publicly traded company acquiring a sneaker Twitter company. Shy Cooked LLC, I believe, is the formal name of the company that was acquired. This big news, man. It's exciting. I don't now, you know, I'm a little under researched. Brian might know a little more about this, like as far as what type of proxy service they were providing. I don't know if
they've been around a long time.
They've been around a long time. I don't think that they were just reselling, you know, smart proxy or like a commonplace provider. From what I understand, I think that there's more to Shy Cooked LLC and what they did as far as
probably like, some hardware, I would imagine, or something.
I'm not sure.
It's tough to say. I mean, honestly, I think it's a smart move on the company that bought them. I mean, maybe they were just looking for an in into what we're doing. You know?
The company that acquired them, isn't it the same company that owns?
It's NetNut, but I think it's I could be wrong, but from what I was told, it's NetNut, and it's actually the company that owns NetNut.
Okay,
I think so.
Well, that would make me believe they are doing their own.
Well, what I was
like,
thinking
creation.
was that Shy Cooked maybe had their own type of like cloud that, you know, their own like small data center that they were, you know,
servers.
That they were actually producing their own proxies, and they were actually a competitor to NetNut in turn, and then that's where some of that acquisition monopoly, you know,
could be true, but honestly, like, I don't know, I don't think so. It's very difficult. Like, residential networks are like, it's a lot of work that goes into that. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they just wanted to cut out middlemen, because if you look at like sneaker proxy companies right now, like they're almost all middlemen. And what I mean by that is like they just buy some data from NetNut and then resell it at a marked up price.
Exactly.
You know? And maybe NetNut's just like, well, screw that. Like, we can just buy one of these companies and sell directly.
Direct to consumer,
That makes sense to me. That makes more sense to me, but it's... You know, I have a lot of respect
and a
for
long-term company too, like Shy Cooked.
I have a lot of respect for the big proxy companies, and I'll name a couple like Oculus, Leaf, Cookie, Shy Cooked, been around for a minute. Surge, been around for a minute. I mean, these are like well-established proxy companies. I think they have very like secure connections to where they get their data from, where they get their DCs from. It's hard to establish stuff like that, you know. But I could totally see it just being a case where like a big company like NetNut just wanted to get
direct to consumer.
We're using a ton of data, man. I mean, like the sneaker industry right now, sneaker botting and stuff, like I would say we're probably using more data than any of the other. I mean, typically people use like residential proxies and stuff for like web scraping SEO. There's all sorts of other stuff that it's used for, but not on the level that, you know, we're using it for, to be honest.
Just ungodly amounts.
Tons, when
you think about it. Yeah. It's crazy.
There's a huge need there in the market. So.
I know. Yeah, it's interesting. Some like the mainstreaming of the industry is interesting. Curious to see like how some of the Footsight changes affect data usage, like Qit and you know, impending Footsight changes, like, because obviously Footsights are one of the biggest, if not the biggest. Like Yeezy supply, people use a lot of data on it, but man, Footsights, especially with the Q, like
it was when they added that I don't know the whole inner workings of it, but I think it was the Fastly Q, which is that GIF where it says like, you know, your sneakers are on the way or something, you know. It was that GIF. It was a ton of data that was being downloaded unnecessarily by bots. And it was just hiking up resi usage like crazy.
Damn.
You know? I mean, you saw all these residential providers like,
yeah,
it's not us, you know, like it's the bots, you know. So
right. Yeah, they were going to like 15 gigs in 5 minutes of a queue, or just like ungodly amounts. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, man, everything's getting big, and you know, it's interesting to me, like. I think of a year or two ago when all the economists and whatnot projected like this sneaker resale economy to grow 4x, 5x. over the next 5-10 years. And those projections were organic growth. Like not, and this is pre-COVID growth.
Yeah.
Everything's just exploded so much. So there's a little bit of like destabilization in some of these things. I wanted to talk about Pokemon. So I love Pokemon.
Pokemon guy.
I love Pokemon stuff and gauging and just the observation of the market. The market's done so much ups and downs. People have literally made millions, lost millions type of deal. You know what I mean? There's just been so much fluctuation, and destabilization is the correct word because I won't, I'll save the long form, but the last podcast we had discussed basically the collectibles guru guy sold the highest priced first edition box at $375,000. It ended up being a fake box. And
I remember this.
Yes. And it was so highly publicized. Now that could have gone one of two ways. If that was like, you think, obviously it wasn't a real box. So this is it's purely hypothetical, but if that was a real box and at $375,000 and then they break open 2 Charizards maybe, totally possible, and that box contains like $550,000 of contents. I mean, dude, the market was appreciating so fast as far as box to box sales. There's so few of these first edition boxes, like it could have just continued going up. So what ended up happening was that box that was so highly publicized being fake kind of it I think led to an overall there's been an overall drawback. A lot of the first edition base set like PSA 10 has held relatively strong because it's very definitive how many are out there. But when you look at the stuff that we had as kids in particular, Brian, like that, unlimited, holographic Charizard and a PSA 8, PSA 9, where it's like the original card, but it's not first edition. It's not in the mint condition. There's a fucking assload of those out there, man. Yeah. And they were going up and up and up, but like for what reason? At some point, the supply needs to be acknowledged. Like, yes, the demand for Charizard's there, but like, we all had those cards as kids, so the supply is enormous out there. All the PSA slab like grades getting returned back to people is gonna be injected back into the market. There's a difference in value and potential value, and when everyone started selling a lot of these like highly printed, or commonly held cards, man, it just brought the market down overall. So there's been a pretty significant downturn in a lot of graded or ungraded original or some like the earlier sets of Pokemon, which is interesting. And it really does play. We knew this was coming, obviously. We saw the same exact thing happen with sports cards. It's just
the whole cards market.
Yeah.
Right now. It's just so propped up.
Yes, exactly. And it was 100% necessary. You know what I mean? Like if there's going to be any long-term value, like the long-term value comes from like short-term, like health and drawbacks and retraces, which are completely necessary. It's
an expert.
I don't know. I love this stuff. The Pokemon stuff's fun.
I just think
I try to pay attention to it.
Any market.
Yeah.
Think
That's
of
true.
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
20 grand down to 5 grand, 6 grand this January, back up to 1820.
I know, back up to like 20 now.
I mean, it's like
I almost think it's like COVID too. Like people are just looking for shit to do.
That
you
too,
know what
yeah,
I mean?
I thought
places to put money there. Yeah.
Because it's
Did
gone.
you see the comic sale?
The comic
Over
sale?
$1 million the other day.
Crazy.
Comic
Yeah.
sale.
It's
Wait, what
Comic
was
book.
I'm not
There's
sure.
a comic book sale. I've been really wanting, and some people in our group have been asking about comic book
Comics,
stuff.
yeah.
And
like
video game
OG,
stuff.
like old school.
And they're
yeah.
graded. There's
Yeah.
like they're graded and everything. Like, there's a whole market.
I don't think holding those type of investments is ever good for someone like us because you just like
Right.
velocity of money, like keep buying and stuff. But
Yeah.
it's interesting how some of these collectibles like cards and comic books and I mean whatever have become during this time like
Yeah.
just the increases have been crazy.
Yeah.
And demand.
Well, and I mean, I'll say this, like, especially with sports cards right now. I mean, we've talked about this several times. Like Panini Football Prism, NFL Prism is out right now, and like a lot of people are considering, do I rip this? Whatever. I'm selling everything sealed, man.
I'm saying, bro.
Selling everything.
I yell
sealed.
that from the. I mean, unless it's like purely entertainment, like I'm ripping this to have fun and enjoy. Like that's totally a viable option if that's why you're doing it. But like. People that say, "Oh, I rip all this product and I send it and get graded because I'm gonna make money." Nah, I like I just don't buy it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't buy it. It is a gamble.
Backup right now. I mean, by the time that backup breaks down,
the market landscape's different.
It's gonna go way down.
Yeah, that quarterback that you sent in to get graded, he's fucking out of the league by the time you get that thing back.
He's blown out both knees.
Seriously, dude, stuff is that bad? A year.
Yeah.
I think of a year in these leagues. Like how much does that change? I mean, dude, think about Joe Burrow. There's people that literally submitted mosaic. This is real life. Like 1 of 5, 1 of 10 Panini Mosaic Joe Burrow rookies from Mosaic before his season ended from his injury. Yeah. This shit, that's real life, man. Yeah. Those people should have sold that. They would have been much better off selling that.
Raw or just sold the sealed
product. I'm saying
I sold all my mosaics sealed. The only stuff I rip is usually the damaged stuff.
Right. From the type of volume selling that we're doing, that in my opinion is really the only viable option. There's a lot of people that use our software and information or whatever and are into sports cards, and they like it. That's their thing. They like ripping cards. Hobby. It's their hobby, and dude, I love that. I support that fully. But yeah, as far as just like coming into it as a reseller, looking at cards, I'd say going and getting the grade, it's just holding your money tied up for a year for what?
Especially when the money is so easy for the sealed stuff right now. It's just crazy what people are paying.
StockX has it if you really want to just,
I mean, Mosaic. Like I was showing people in the group the other day, like I had like 20 NFL Mosaic mega boxes, which were $40 a pop from Target.
Yeah.
And I sold all 20 of them for like $150 off the rip.
Right. Yep.
And that was a trash product, man.
Exactly.
Let's be real.
Overprinted.
Trash product.
Print lines all throughout. It was off-centered.
I ripped a lot of it, and I got nothing good.
Oh, yeah. Me too. Me too.
It was just, I couldn't believe that it was selling for that much,
Yep.
The market is just, I don't know, call it a bubble, whatever. I think it's just,
it definitely
really
is
propped up right now,
Well, you look at Panini and Topps aren't like handling or printing this stuff in much of like a long game. Like you look at how Nike lets and produces stock for certain releases. Like they're smart. They bottleneck things to control hype and stuff like that. Panini and Topps are just like, oh man, the hypes are there. Like did you see? Okay, like this is a perfect example. Allen and Ginter.
Yep.
Topps is doing Allen and Ginter Chrome.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean?
This never existed before, right?
No, exactly. And most of these products haven't. I mean, even Mosaic Football, this was the first year of Mosaic Football. Like, they are literally just printing new product lines every time they can because they're just fucking making their money, dude. They're printing this cardboard out of thin air.
I remember you saying the population count on these players' cards is just ridiculous.
Yes. Yeah. It's grown so much.
It's like 10,000 PSA 10.
Exactly. Like, compared to like the first year Prism cards, like the Giannis cards are super, super low population counts. Yeah. And that's why. And people like look at or like, dude, but look at what Giannis's Prism card did. So if I invest in Luka's Prism card, it's gonna follow the same track. It's like, no, bro. Giannis's Prism card is like 5% of the existing and the print run, it's higher quality, they're better centering. All of the above.
I look too. I mean, Topps has just, I think it was the Chrome Sapphire boxes, I think. Not the Bowman Sapphire. Bowman Sapphire was a huge cook for us.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But I think it was the Chrome Sapphire. I don't know if you remember these. They were $350, I think, a pop.
I do remember these.
And I think the year before, like this was kind of an established product for them. I think the year before they were like 100.
Yep.
Or something.
Yep.
And they like tripled the price.
Yeah, they'll raise retails to meet.
They're just cashing out.
Exactly. It's very much like Panini with their Dutch auctions. Like they're gonna meet whatever people are willing to pay.
They've totally gone that direction. Yeah.
Yep, trying to price their stuff.
And it was really after KSR came into the picture and just started demolishing some of these releases.
It's true
that they started doing that. You know?
Yes.
I mean, what I think Bowman Sapphire was like probably the last like major Topps cook, and then after that it was like, what did we see? Raffles.
Yeah, I've seen the Garbage Pail Kids the other day are pretty good. Double up on some of those little nasty things or whatever.
Those are nice. Those things are nice.
Yep.
No, there's a big difference in
stuff too.
Yeah, soccer products. Yeah, some under-recognized product lines. I think that there's a big difference in that soccer was so limited too. Like the stuff that is good, they just keep it dummy limited. There is. What's that?
Is that because they send a lot of that product now to like stores?
Direct, yes, and they're charging resale
to
a store. They're selling direct to to distributor. I think that there's there's not enough focus in our industry put on like value versus potential value. Like, you know, all the potential value in your PSA submissions, like cute, you know, but like your bank account, you know what I mean? Like really value versus potential value. Like sell your shoes, man. How many times you lost I mean, dude, and you still have like those Travis Scott Jordan 6.
I knew you were gonna bring something like that up.
Okay, Brian.
I was thinking the sack.
No, we don't talk
Brian,
about that.
Okay, now this is something
but I do it.
Brian embraces this, so but you are you're great at copying stuff, but you just don't get around to selling it.
I suck at selling.
And then like it'll be 6 months later and it'll be like, dude, remember this shoe? And I'm like, oh yeah, from like last April. He's like, yeah, man, they bricked. I'm like,
and I have like 20
and I still have them. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I think I have like, I don't know, 10 or 11 pairs of the satin black toe Jordan 1.
Yep. Which are kind of going a little back up.
I think they'll go up eventually. Yeah. I think the Travis
long.
6s will go up eventually too. At this point, I'm in it for the long haul.
At this point, dude.
At this point, I'm like, these things better hit $2,000. Otherwise, you know.
You don't like the Travis 6s, right?
Do I like them?
Yeah, like as to wear, like the all.
I have a personal, but I like them a lot. I think it's a very nice shoe.
Pretty wearable.
Nice shoe. I think it's just that it's a Jordan 6. I think people typically just don't like Jordan 6s.
It's a performance silhouette, but like a decently wearable color.
He did a really good job on those. You know, the whole thing is like this like suede army green. I love the tongue. It's got that orange Jumpman logo on it.
Yeah.
It's got the little pocket too on there, like a little bit of flair.
A little coin purse.
You don't like them?
He calls them the swamp shoes or something.
Is that what sewage? Oh, the sewage 6s. I call them the sewage 6s.
They were so hard to touch, man. I remember when Clockism called me and I was at work and like I stepped into like a break room and I was like, "What's going on?" And he was like, "Check your email." And I was like,
I got mine from Concepts Dubai.
Oh, I got one of them.
Remember we were up in the morning?
Yeah,
they shipped those?
6 a.m.
That's awesome.
They shipped
That's
8.5 or something.
Yeah.
It was like the most expensive size. And since then, like I've checked out before and they don't ship US.
No, they don't.
Right.
They stopped like after that.
Yeah.
You're the last one.
That's it.
And then
crazy.
other big shoes this year. So I wanted to talk about this. So we're not going to do a segment for this week's leaks, but rather I just wanted to go and hit like the top 5. Complex did their best shoes, top shoes of 2020 list. And we wanted to take the top 5 of those and just run through them, what they ranked to be the top shoes from this past year of resale and sneaker culture, and see if we agree or disagree. I'll tell you right now, I disagree pretty strongly with a lot of the lists. The number 1 shoe was the black off-white Jordan 5, which to me is just like, there was a lot of hype. It's a decent shoe, but number 1 shoe of the year. I mean,
I'll just say, I mean, it's Complex. You know what I mean? Like they get a lot of stuff wrong. The numbering is totally off, but it's definitely up there as a top shoe of the year. You can't deny that.
I agree that it's like
the first off-white Jordan 5. Like I think it's better than the sale ones they just did.
Yeah, I agree with that. But like to me, as far as the year 2020,
number 1.
No way, bro. I think of like Strange Love dunks to me are I'm telling you, generationally, iconically beautiful. Dior Jordan 1s, like
Dior Jordan 1s should be, I think, up there.
You think? Yeah,
probably number 1.
Yeah,
just because of the nature of the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's a really nice looking shoe, but it's like Dior Jordan 1. Like, come on.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
You know.
Well, again, it's like it's a legendary piece. Like,
huge collab. You know. I mean, look, I think it's a beautiful shoe. I don't know if I would say it's the best looking shoe out there, to be honest, but it's just what it is.
For
Dior,
sure.
Right.
Jordan 1. You know, I mean, you can't.
Yep.
How do you compete with that? But yeah,
Vince,
Strange Loves were also amazing.
I love the
number
Strange
1?
Loves. Probably the Skunk Dunks.
Oh,
the
really?
420s.
Oh,
I think they were this year.
Yeah,
and then
those
Grateful Dead's. I mean, I love those shoes.
I know you do.
Difficult to wear, but very cool.
Vince is so invested in the Grateful Deads at this point.
I just love those shoes, dude.
I know you do.
I thought they were sick.
It's awesome. I think that either have a better I don't know. The Off-White 5s are cool, and I see why they're on a top list like this.
Just a wider release, I think.
Yeah. I think the Off-White 4s. If we were gonna put an Off-White shoe at number 1, I think we should put the Off-White 4s.
I agree. I think the Off-White 4s. What are those? Sick. I think those aren't even in the top 5. They ranked at 6, which was notable. I remember.
I think they're better than the 5s. For sure.
I'm with you on that. Chunky Dunks were 2. Ugh. What do you think about that?
Awful.
If you're gonna pick, you're gonna pick like a fun, unique dunk collab, don't pick those ones.
It depends. In my opinion, it depends on how you're looking at it. Okay, yeah. Like would I wear those? Hell no. I'd look like a clown with those. On my feet,
of course.
But again, that's just like a really iconic collab, and there was so much hype around it. The special box, like the big tub, you know,
it was cool.
How do you pick that over a Grateful Dead, dude?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
Grateful Dead. There was like 3 colorways, so it's like
true.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Strange Loves. There was better, Loves. Dude. There were so many dunk collabs this year.
Strange Loves were crazy, man.
They were insane.
Yeah, you got 4 of those, didn't you?
Yeah.
CCS, yeah.
4 from CCS. I got 5 total.
You didn't deserve those.
4 manual on CCS. I didn't deserve those.
You didn't deserve those.
All right, buddy. You're well. Actually, you know why you're right. I didn't deserve them is because I sold them for like 600 pop.
That designer we saw, he's coming out with a new dunk.
Sean Kleiber.
Yeah. For real? Okay.
Yeah, it's coming out. I think this coming week.
The third on the list was the black pair of the Union Jordan 4s. So not black,
really.
Yeah, or at least it's the photo they used on the list. So, but yeah, it was the Union Jordan 4s. Who knows? Maybe it was like the guava and the black, the whole collab. But it was the black one that they had pictured. Again, maybe because more people hit them
on sneakers.
Yeah,
they're on sneakers.
So maybe I'm missing something here. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Union is like this huge thing. I mean, yeah, the Union Jordan 1s were sick. I personally think those Union Jordan 4s are pretty disgusting. I don't like them at all.
I like these.
Dude, live on the air, huh?
I don't
live
like them
on the air. You're calling.
Well, I don't understand why. I don't understand the hype behind them. Like, is Union some big? Okay, I've been in this world for like 3 years.
They're pretty big.
Is Union like a huge name? You know what I mean? I don't know.
When I was living out in LA, they were pretty big, like boutique. And
for
they're on their videos, their sneaker videos. You see the guy who created that company on their sneaker videos. The dunk videos that they do on the sneakers app. Oh, the creator is in several of those. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's pretty.
Then maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I think that if you compare those to the Jordan 1s,
the Jordan 1s are so much.
Those
better.
are sick.
Yeah.
Like as a shoe, the clout of Union LA aside. Those Jordan 1s are sick.
Regardless of what they...
And same scenario. The clout of Union LA aside, I think those are just kind of gross, man. The black are better in my opinion.
The black are better. I don't know. I do like these.
From the get-go, I was like...
I like 4s in general, so I do like these, but I will say that the hype, hysteria, clout, and like the legend status of the Union 1s certainly impacts. Yes, totally. Certainly. Yeah. Because like at the end of the day, I look at those. It's just you've got a good point compared to like the Union 1s. Like those are just fucking.
It's probably just the fact that he's wearing them too.
He just makes them look a little. Brings them down a little.
If I was wearing them, they'd probably look a little bit better.
Right.
I think you're right. That way they'd be a big pink thing on the floor if you had them on. That'd be nice.
If Brian was wearing them, they'd be fake. They'd be fake. I'm just kidding. No, there was a pair of shoes that Brian a couple years ago I bought from StockX that we had suspected was fake that we had given him shit about. But
hey, let's talk about that. To be honest, fakes are
a problem with the market.
It's becoming a thing.
I agree.
I think StockX and GOAT are good. I think they're good for this culture for sure.
Yeah.
It's good to have like solid companies like that can help weed out some of the fakes. But we were talking about this earlier. I mean, some of these fakes are getting so damn good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, these Travis 1s, I think were a very good example. Like, because I read a lot of the stuff on r/rep sneakers, which is the subreddit for all reps and stuff. And there's a lot of people on there that are like, really good at legit, they're recognized as people that can really spot the differences.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of people, like well-respected individuals on there that were saying with these shoes, like if they're good, like some of the reps that they had seen, like if they're good, it's damn near impossible to even tell the difference.
I believe it. I really do, man. And I've insisted for a while that like, over time, a shoe like the Travis Scott 1s, Union 4s, anything like that. Like, if the money is still there in the aftermarket and the demand is still just like insane through the roof, the rep providers or makers are going to keep producing them. They're going to get better and better. And eventually, and this same thing happens in like sports or like sealed product with like that old Pokemon cards, stuff like that. When the like fraudulent to legitimate, the ratio of fraudulent to legitimate becomes like toxic to the point where it does impact. It's again, the amount of fakes of Travis Scott ones on the market have impacted the prices with certainty, man. Some of those sizes, like size 5 and 6 men's, I recall, only released in China. And even they've, like, why would those be lower than they were when they released a year and a half ago, 2 years ago? They wouldn't be, they shouldn't be, but they are. Why? It's just because of the fakes that are out there. Even if only a very small percentage of them get pass authentication, like 1 in every 1,000 fakes, you know, even just the asking prices on eBay and StockX, it impacts mentally the people that are holding the legitimate items too. You know what I mean? But it is a real problem, a very real problem.
So I hit a pair of these on sneakers actually during like the Grammy drop. I don't remember. They did the shock drop or whatever. That was like crazy that I hit those, but I ended up selling those for the high because they were crazy expensive at the time. And then I wanted a pair for personal, and I didn't hit any on the release day. And so I decided to go with GOAT because at the time, I don't know if StockX has this, but GOAT has like a 3-day return thing where like, I don't know if they still have it too, but like if you're not if you think they're fake or you're not satisfied for whatever reason, you can return them, I guess. So I went with GOAT, but I was very hesitant, man. Very hesitant because I was seeing all these YouTube videos about the fakes and everything and people buying fakes on StockX and like, so I watched all the legit check videos, you know, like I was like pretty much, you know, up to date on like every single point that they were using to check authenticity. And we still had a friend that got some from StockX. And I was pretty sure from the pictures they were fake. You know?
Definitely. Dude, it sucks. It totally sucks. Especially, man, like as a
Nike's
buyer.
Nike's got to do something about it. You know,
I think yes. And the answer will be a technical answer. Hopefully, RFID, you know, some type of unique identifiers that is where that's the only solution right now. Is it a permanent solution? Like, no, bad guys are always fakes are $1 billion industry too. They're going to be working very hard to catch up. For sure. But it's Nike's playing chess. Like in my opinion, that's probably
part of the issue with these two was the QA was just terrible. Is what I heard. I mean, you would have people that had the swoosh that was like, you know, an inch down, an inch up, and it was like
from Nike, directly from Nike.
I didn't even know that. Dude.
Yeah, the QA was just terrible.
That's a shame.
So that's what made it really difficult, you know. But
you guys were basically telling me how good the fakes are now. I didn't really know that.
It's insane.
They're really good. Yeah,
it's just insane. It's a fucking shame. And next two in the top 5 were the New Balance 992. It was the what the hell was the name of it? The
Joe
No
Fresh
Emotions.
Goods?
Yes. No Emotions.
So sick.
Yeah, pretty awesome. Pretty awesome.
Dope.
As far as like mainstream recognition, I don't know how many people even know those exist.
I think they almost went with something low key for that pick.
I'll tell you what, those shoes, I like them, and I got a couple pairs, but they will always leave kind of a bitter taste in my mouth just because they released All-Star Weekend in Chicago. Almost positive. Yeah, they were All-Star Weekend. Which was just a nightmare.
It was just a disastrous weekend of L's.
There was like 3 or 4 like really hype sneakers that dropped that weekend. And like if you didn't live in Chicago,
no chance.
Your chances were shit.
They had the Quantum OG drop, 1985
OGs.
Those Airship pack.
Yeah, they had all those weird Jordan 1s. Yeah,
those were
Travis
sick.
6s.
Bought those.
Travis 6s. Was it Travis 6s? There was just everything.
Yeezy.
It was the Off-White Jordan 5.
That's what it was. Off-White Jordan 5.
And if you
all
didn't,
of the above,
if you
crazy.
didn't get those on the Off-White site, I mean, they were really hard to get. Otherwise,
I saw the video of the dude. They were like handing out the Quantums, I think, and the dude traded his canary yellow fogs for him.
Those dropped. Yes, dude. Yes,
you remember
those
that?
Those dropped at
those were Complex
Con, dude.
Wait,
my god,
the fog ones.
Yes,
but he traded them. He took them off his feet and gave them to the people passing out the Quantums in Chicago.
Yeah,
imagine, dude. That's fucking brutal.
And let's not forget Don C.
The Don C's.
Oh my god!
I hit like 30.
Those shoes don't even exist.
And they didn't come.
That was
Don't
just
even
a
exist, man. It's a
mock
phantom
up.
shoe.
It was just a mock up of a shoe. I swear to
I
God.
almost bought one just to say like.
Fuck Don C.
That was just a rough weekend. I feel like for everyone.
Big blue
I
Air
don't
Force
know.
One boots. What a joke.
Yeah.
Fuck those.
I need to buy those stupid things.
And the fifth shoe and last one we'll touch on was the Adidas Yeezy Foam Runner. Dog, I'm telling you, that's just like Yeezy. That's Adidas just sponsoring this complex article because there's no reason that would be number 5. They're gonna GR them anyways. Like there's just no reason.
I don't know. I mean, there was a lot of hype behind him. Come on, you know, like remember we saw the picture. We saw the picture like a year before they even released, and everyone was like, "Yeezy's doing Crocs now."
Right,
you know
right.
What I mean?
I do
And
remember that.
It was like
Me
some
too.
guy on a motorcycle or something. Like,
I remember.
I don't know. It's definitely
did
different
well.
for them.
Their marketing
It was
campaign was
different
pretty
for them.
solid.
Very well.
Yeah.
They're gonna make a lot of money when those hit Gap.
I don't know if I could see him as number 5 or whatever they were, but
Either. They should be on a different list. Why are they in the top sneakers of the year?
Yeah.
They're literally like,
Full
foam
shoes.
foam Yeezy Crocs. So
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's shoes, but yeah. Either way, man. 2021, big year for sneakers. I'm confident in it. So yeah,
I think we're going to see a resurgence for sure.
Hell yeah. Me too, man. So let's wrap this one up.
Awesome.
It was fun, Brian.
Good to have you, dude.
We will
Yeah.
definitely have to have you back sooner rather than later, man.
Absolutely.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
So all right, guys. Thank
Cheers.
you. Yep.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Yeah.